Hi everyone, and welcome back to Sit and Knit for a Bit with Arne and Carlos.
And we are, as always, your hosts, Arne and Carlos.
Yes, we are.
Yes, absolutely.
Surprise!
Yes, we're here with yet another episode of our podcast, Sit and Knit for a Bit, where we talk about everything and anything and bring you some entertainment every week. Now, we've been very busy and very active here on YouTube this summer.
Yeah.
We have been doing regular Sunday episodes and tutorials, which we have been doing since 2015. We have been doing our Sit in It for a Bit podcast every Wednesday, which we have been doing since the pandemic. If you're new here on our channel, we started Sit in It for a Bit as a podcast during the pandemic, and we've kept it going. It's not necessarily about knitting.
It's about anything.
The idea is that you sit and knit with us, and we just recap and talk about things. Yeah. I just remember I don't have my knitting with me, and Arne is probably very happy about that.
You want to show your knitting. I can go and get it.
I wanted to show my knitting. No, you don't have to. It's okay. I wanted to show my knitting and show you how far I've come in my cowl. But Arne says that when I have the knitting here and I knit, I lose concentration and I'm supposed to be focusing on you, not on my knitting. So...
Because you can't talk and do things. I can. Yeah. I have some things I'm going to work on.
Yeah, but anyway...
If I can.
Anyway, that is our Wednesday podcast. And we've also been pretty active on the YouTube Shorts nowadays. We're posting episodes of our little short series with updates from our garden. Yeah. We call it the Pajama Gardeners. But you won't see us wearing our pajamas all the time. Now, will you, Arne?
No, because we film when we feel for it. Or it's like if we think something could be interesting on film, and sometimes we do wear pajamas because it's early in the morning or late at night. And sometimes, actually, we can't walk around in the pajama every day.
No,
or the whole day.
We're trying. I think YouTube, sometimes YouTube is all about authenticity, and we don't want to fake it. We don't want to go and put on our pajamas just because the series is called The Pajamas Gardener. I mean, if we're out in the garden rearranging flowers at 3 p.m, we're not going to be wearing our pajamas.
No.
There's a time in the morning, I love hanging out, I have to say. I love my pajamas. I love them. And I love putting them on and hanging out for a little bit of time. But after a certain amount of hours wearing them in the morning, I do feel that it's time to change into something more decent.
Yeah. Or if you're going out.
Even at home. For me, there is a time. So we are lucky, we're designers. We work from home, so and we get up early. I mean,
actually, we can wear the pajamas the whole day if we like.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't like doing that.
No.
So I wake up at around 6. I meditate for an hour or two, and then I do because I'm really bad in the morning.
Yeah.
But by 8 o'clock, I'm up. And then around 9 o'clock, I think, the pajamas wearing is...
But Carl, look at us. We look so tiny.
I know.
What's wrong with this thing? Let me tilt it.
It's like an Alice in Wonderland we fell into.
No, this is better, isn't it?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah. We're like going... Okay.
Yeah, becoming little hobbits or something.
Sorry, I just have to... I'm perfectionist.
Yeah,
What's
you're
that?
Perfecting the camera image.
This is better.
By the way, we're really coordinating again, aren't we? I mean...
I put on my gold.
Yeah.
Because there's gold behind.
Yeah, and I put on my beige, but, it goes well with the colors.
I'm not blending in.
Yeah. Anyway, the Pajama Gardeners, authenticity. I don't wear pajamas after 9 o'clock in the morning, and then I'll take a shower in the evening and put my pajamas on around 7 or 8. So yeah, there is a big probability you will see us wearing pajamas in our videos, but not always.
Not always.
So
and today we are not wearing a pajamas.
Well, no, this is not the Pajama Gardeners anyway.
No, we put on clothing today because we're going to Oslo later. And we were actually trying yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday we had a very important thing to do, which is actually absolutely not important.
No.
But in my mind, it's very important because it's kind of my focus nowadays. And we were going to go to Oslo. And we were going to drive the Beetle. And we've been having problems. We have a Beetle from 1968, in case you don't know. And we've been having problems with that Beetle this summer.
Yeah, there's been things with the electricity. So 2 times now we've been out driving and the electricity has gone. And we had to ring or call for help because it stops. And
it's been so bad. It's been so bad that we got this book. It was recommended to us by a viewer in the comments, and it says a manual of step-by-step procedures for the complete idiot. That would be us.
Yeah. And yesterday we were...
And we haven't been able to figure out anything with this book.
No. And yesterday we were on our way again to Oslo in the Beetle, and suddenly it starts jumping again, like there's like a kangaroo in the engine.
Yeah, that's what we call it in Norwegian.
There's
a kangaroo in the engine. That's why the car
and then
is doing that.
It started to shoot. There was like big like gunshots behind us.
From the exhaust pipe.
Yeah. And then we just had to turn in the car on in like, what would you say?
You drove the car
drove into
a bus pocket, one of those little pockets where the buses go.
And then we
put the warning triangle out.
We put out the warning triangle,
do that.
and then we turned off the engine and we called for help.
Yeah, and we have a really good insurance for vintage cars, so we get all the help we need. So we called and we booked it, and they said that the place where the rescue car is an hour from where we were.
Or 1.5 hour. 1 hour to 1.5.
No, it was an hour from where we were, but it could take up to an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But then they would call us when they were on their way. After 20 minutes sitting there waiting for the rescue car to call us, and he did, and I said to Arne, try the engine, just try it. Turn on the car, let's see what happens.
That was the first time nothing happened. I pressed the gas and it felt like the wire, or what you call, was broken because there was no reaction. And then we turned the engine off again and we sat for like, how long? Half an hour?
We sat, 20 minutes, half an hour.
I was knitting and you were Googling help.
Yeah, because I forgot my knitwear at home.
And then you said, well, let's try again. And I started the engine and suddenly everything
was working.
Everything worked. I pressed the gas and there was nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So
I said to Arne, let's just call the insurance company, cancel the rescue, and let's get the hell out of here. But let's not go to Oslo. Let's go home.
Yeah, because we didn't dare to go all the way.
So we went home, nothing, no issues with the car. It must have been moody. It must have been...
I don't know what happened. Nothing happened.
Well, our car's a she. And sometimes in the morning, she can get cranky. It was raining.
It was heavy rain yesterday or
the day before.
So maybe that's the problem, that something was wet or...
So she was just probably not in the mood. And she was feeling a little bit like, do we really have to go to the city today? And remember
when... tried to tell us something.
Yeah, I mean, it happened to us once, a similar situation, a couple of years ago, during the pandemic. I got very sick with COVID in the beginning of the pandemic in March 2020. And then we went to northern Norway in June to recuperate. I needed a change of scenery. So we drove the Beetle to Lofoten, which is a 2-day drive. And when we arrived in this island, halfway, in this little island, you could only drive at a certain speed. Yeah. It wasn't more than 60 kilometers per hour.
This was early in the morning also.
And she was moody. She would just not have it. She was shaking and doing all this.
Yeah, every time we came to a crossing and we had to stop the car, the engine stopped.
Yeah.
And then she was really hard to start again. And she had that kangaroo again.
Yeah, we called all the mechanics in the area, but this was in end of June. They were all going on holiday. Nobody had time for us. Finally, we got a mechanic in Bodø, which is a town very near Lofoten, but on the mainland. And it was like a 10-hour drive there, because we figured, let's go.
But then I think when we came...
We got off the island and it worked. We got on the ferry.
And then we came up to 80 kilometers an hour, and then she was fine.
And then we had no issues. So she didn't want to be on the island. She didn't like it there.
No, she didn't like it.
She hated the island.
Slow. And then we came to Bodø, and then they couldn't help us either because...
But the car was okay.
Yeah, so we drove there and said, we don't need you anyway. And then they said, well, we can't help you anyway. Because they couldn't get the parts in so short time.
Yes, so we didn't go to Oslo yesterday, but we're going today. This is early morning. We're filming this at around 8 o'clock in the morning. And we're hoping by 9 a.m. to get in the electric car and drive. I checked that we have enough battery. So we're going to be driving our electric car. Now, there's this whole situation here with the electric car. And it's not what you think, because you probably think that we have range anxiety.
No.
Not
anymore. We had
it in the beginning, but it takes about, I would say, it takes about 9 months to get used to it. We got our car in April.
It took 9 months for us.
It took some discovering. Our first long trip to Sweden, where my parents live, and my mother has Alzheimer's. So we do visit often. It took our first trip to Sweden to get range anxiety when we didn't know how to charge it, or we didn't understand the system with the charging stations. And then that was in April, and then by January, remember we were going to recover a sofa, and we had it on
On a hanger.
on a carrier or hanger, and we were driving in the middle of winter when we don't have enough battery. But by then it was easy. We knew where to charge. We knew what to do. So it's not range anxiety. We have
had it.
we have mileage anxiety.
Because it's a leased car, and we can't drive more than a certain kilometers, and we have already gone over.
We can drive for what we pay a month for a leased car, 15,000 kilometers a year. Now I figure we need about 22 to 25,000.
Especially with your parents down in Sweden, we need to go.
And we can change it. We would just have to pay more. And the first year we drove it 25,000. And I had this brilliant idea. Because we don't drive the Beetle in the winter, only in the summer. So I said to Arne, let's put the Beetle in the garage and drive. No, sorry, let's put the electric car in the garage in May and drive the Beetle all summer, and hopefully the mileage will sink.
And then
all this is happening.
Then she's on strike.
Yeah, she's probably doing this on purpose.
But I can't understand why she was working. Like there was no problems on the way home.
You can't understand, and this doesn't help. She's got a temper.
I've been looking for a kangaroo, but there's no search word.
Not kangaroo, but there's...
So I need to learn.
No. I found it.
You found something?
Yeah, it says in the index. Let's see what it says.
Maybe we can figure it out.
It says shimmies and shakes.
Shimmies and shakes.
What's a shimmy? I don't know. What's a shimmy, Arne?
Maybe that's the kangaroo.
Is it this? Is this a shimmy?
Shimmies.
And the shake?
Well, we had some of those in the car.
Yeah. I think we should look at shimmies and shakes.
So that's what we're gonna read.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make what's that in English? When you fold the page, like Yes.
Put a donkey's ear.
Donkey's ear. Shimmies and shake.
Yeah, but don't read it now. We have people
I just have to mark this one.
Yeah. So. And if worse comes to worse, and this book turns out to be completely too intelligent for us, the complete idiots.
Then I don't know what to do.
Well, at least we can color the beautiful
there's pages
drawings.
You can color.
They're quite nice. So yeah.
So and that was the drama.
Yeah, that was the drama. And what are we doing in Oslo?
We're going to find some colors because we have a color problem.
Yeah.
Because we're renovating the kitchen, and it's most for you because the kitchen is your area. So I think that you can decide, but I will have some inputs.
Yeah, we had a flood here 10 years ago, and there was a lot of water coming in, and there has been a leaking from the roof as well, and the flood was just temporarily, it went away, and everything was okay.
The flood was from the pipes because the pipes were frozen, and we had some people. They came with steam and they opened the frozen pipes from the kitchen and out, and then when it opened, the water came back and into the kitchen and flood over in the kitchen.
Yeah, and then when the flood kind of happened after that, there wasn't serious damage, but you could see that parts of the kitchen were damaged. But I said to Arne, I don't want to replace the kitchen now because we can't afford to get a really good kitchen.
No, and this time I think we will have a good one.
Well, I believe in spending as much as I can afford.
I want to have real
to buy and buying the best I can afford. And at that time, 10 years ago, there was we couldn't afford what I wanted. So we designed this little idea. Actually, we had already done it a few years before, but we've been putting in kitchen money every month in a savings account. And now we've come to, and then during the pandemic when we didn't spend any money, we also saved more. So now with all the hard-earned and hard-saved money,
it will be a new kitchen.
We can afford to do a good quality kitchen. I mean, it's still within reason. We're not going cray-cray. But I mean, in a reasonable, I want good cabinetry. I want high quality cabinetry. I want drawers made of wood.
And we need like more for freezing, like when you, what do you call that? Kjøleskåp?
Oh no, not freezer, the refrigerator. We need a bigger refrigerator.
Because we have always a problem and we have people coming. It's like so tiny, there's no space for
we have a
anything.
tiny fridge.
It's enough that we go picking the cloudberries in the fall, then the fridge or the refrigerator is full.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short, there's a new kitchen coming. We ordered it on Friday and we're going to get it installed in November. But there's a huge challenge. As you can see from just looking at this frame, we love color, right? And this company that we're working with is a Swedish company. It's called Kvänum. They're 100 years old.
And I think we have a problem because
they cater to Scandinavian tastes.
It seems like we're going towards white for the walls, and that's not acceptable. We don't want to have white walls.
Well, the problem is all the cabinetry that they have, they're painted, right?
Yeah.
And the colors are very muted, and they're very Scandinavian. So, and we're a little bit more maximalist. We adore living with colors. And there's a challenge here because we're on a budget. I mean, it's expensive and we've saved the money, right? But we're still on a budget and we can't make ridiculous decisions like, for example, pay, I don't know, $5,000 so that we can paint it in any color we want. So it's either the colors of the manufacturer or we have to pay more.
I think we just go for the colors from the manufacturer and then we live with that for a while and then later we can paint it
exactly.
ourselves.
But now the challenge is finding colors that we, I had this idea. I wanted aquamarine. I wanted, these green tones that would work well with an east-facing room because the room faces east.
We don't have a light green room. We have a darker green room.
Yeah.
I don't want to have two rooms looking the same.
So we're also going over to Farembal to look at the aquamarine color called Teresa's Green, which I know doesn't fit with the green, or with the color that we have selected.
We have a problem.
But you know what? We are designers. And I always say when we hold lectures, we do a lot of that as well. And when we hold lectures on design, I always say that a designer is a problem solver. And the more or the bigger the problem is, the more creative the solution is. So what we need now is facts. We need to put all the facts on the table and we need to see what we're working with. And then we have to see, within the constraints of what we have, what can we do? So actually, I think we could come up with an amazing creative idea. It just hasn't arrived yet. And one of the big issues is we haven't actually been to the kitchen. We signed the contract and everything, and we go by their reputation, and also we have friends. We have friends who have a kitchen from them. But today is going to be the first time we go to the showroom to see, and we've already ordered the kitchen, so it's kind of crazy in a way.
No, we haven't ordered the colors.
No, we've ordered the kitchen, and it's been placed in line in the queue. It won't be ready until November. It takes quite a while to make it. And they won't start making it until September. So we still have August to make the final changes. Knobs is also an issue.
I'm going to go and buy this little, kokeplate.
Oh yeah,
like a small.
Yeah, which it runs on propane, right?
No, it's like
electric.
Electric. It's like this, like an oven, this thick, and there's one place where you can put
like a plate, for cooking.
And you put it put electricity. We have to look for a small kokeplate. It's called in Norwegian. So you can do the cooking outside or upstairs, because we won't have a kitchen for a while.
Yeah, but luckily, I mean, this is all planned in advance. They're going to install the kitchen on November 13th, and it takes 2 weeks to install it. So it will be ready on November 27th. We will be traveling a little bit, and we will be able to work this out so that we don't have that much time without a kitchen.
That's good, actually.
Anyway, it's happening, and we're super excited. It does feel like a pregnancy, though. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for this kitchen. But yeah, I will figure out there's a creative solution to everything. Yeah. And we just have to look at the colors. That's another thing. We're judging the colors from these little swatches that they gave us. Our kitchen person came here to our home last week, and she brought us all the taps and the fixtures and the fittings and little wooden, you know, swatches this big. We need to see what the colors look like in real life, and then we can start finding a decision.
So today we're gonna get some of the small boxes for paint just to check it out, and we're also starting to make the extension of the house that we've been having. Like, we have the foundation for many years, and now finally we decided to start building it. So I want to find some colors, because we have decided now that my messy room will be a bedroom, because we have a problem every time we have guests, because there's no space to put people. They have to sleep on the floor or on the outside. Or
well, in the we have the best.
We have the guest house.
The guest house.
If there are more than one couple, people sleep everywhere. So now I'm gonna move into the new room.
Yeah.
And I need. I'm gonna decide the color.
Well, with my help.
Yeah, with your help. I'm very into some dark and mysterious.
I don't know. I'm not gonna.
You will see. You will.
I'm not gonna let you decide all on your own. I do feel that I live
what
here.
What are you doing under the table?
I'm fixing Barbie's hair.
Well,
I wanna have.
Talking about Barbie. Put on the dress. Look, we found. Since I do working on my New Year resolution.
Yeah.
I'm cleaning. So this is a Barbie dress I made many years ago.
It's not only that. I mean, who can have avoided hearing the hype of the Barbie movie?
Yeah, now it's very
that is coming
trendy.
This weekend. It's coming this weekend.
Yeah.
And we've gotten our Barbies out.
I made this dress and I went overboard. I put lining in it, and then we also made embroidery on the front.
Should I dress her?
And on the back. Put it on, but it's too tight. So I think this one has to be changed a little bit.
This one didn't shrink in the closet, because Barbie clothes are always the same size. They never shrink.
Everything is perfect in the Barbie world.
Yeah, but the problem is when Arne lined the dress,
it's too tight.
And Barbie doesn't really need lined dresses.
Well, our Barbies need lined dresses.
Yeah, but it's too tight.
But now I think this goes for the Blight doll. We have to check it on the Blight doll, because the Blight is more skinnier. Like, she doesn't have the big breasts.
Yeah.
So I think the Blight doll will be good for this one.
Yeah.
But
So
we have to make it shorter for the Blight.
So here it is on, and here you can see Arne's lining. It's unfinished.
Yeah, because it was too tight. I gave up.
It's a beautiful silk moire gown, as you can see, and we let the fabric speak for itself. So it's a very simple cut, and then it's got, as Arne mentioned, this gorgeous embroidery on the neck, which continues down the back. Sadly, it is a little bit too tight, so it's not fitting very well.
But you should try it on the Blight. I think it will fit the Blight doll.
But once or we remove the lining and make it another, Anyway, this is one of many dresses that we've made for Barbie a long time ago.
And now I'm going to organize all the doll stuff. I will put all the patterns in a folder, so I know where I have them, and also keep the prototypes. So, and there's another one.
Yeah, so let's take this one off, and we'll show where the other one is.
So this one is also a bit tight, so this probably go for the Blight doll as well. So this is, first is this fabric, the pink one, and then we added the flowers, which is cut out of a lace. Oh, that's like the dress that, what's her name? Princess Mary? No. The one in England who married the crown prince.
Oh, Kate.
Kate
Middleton.
Kate Middleton. She had a dress from Alexander McQueen where they cut out one lace and put on another. That's what we did.
It's called an applique in sewing terms.
And then we filled up with these sequences in between.
Sequence
in between the flowers.
Let me put it on.
It has also lining.
Unfortunately, Arne, he has to line everything, so he's he's lined it with a very thick silk. So again, this one doesn't fit either, and this one isn't finished, so it doesn't have any hooks or anything.
But this will also be for the other doll. But this one is not as tight as the pink one, but I don't know. But this will be nice when if I finish this one for the Blight doll, and I can do some
Yeah.
hand stitching around the armhole and make it nicer.
Yeah, this one is definitely not. Yeah, this one's unfinished, and it's not because it doesn't have any hooks. It's not sitting very well, I have to
No, because
say.
I just
But if you
didn't
can
finish
kind of
it.
imagine it, it would be something like that, right? Another beautiful Barbie dress, and then I found this, which is really weird. It's this kind of funny shaping thing, and I was wondering, is this a swatch? Is this something, a sleeve we've made? But it's not. It's certainly not a sleeve. And then I realized that this is the front
Of a knitted,
of a knitted dress for Barbie,
which we haven't finished.
which we haven't finished, but which will eventually fit her perfectly once it's finished. So yeah, actually maybe it is the whole dress. We just haven't sewn
No,
it.
it's not.
It's half.
It's a half a dress.
Yeah, so it goes there. So this is
But
how it
but
goes.
now since we talk about the dolls, let me show you the Italian fashion doll. We have showed it once before.
Yeah, but I thought, okay, yeah, I wanted to talk about the dream house, but we can do that
The
after.
dream house.
Architectural Digest. But talk about your doll. It's okay.
Oh, you now finish the Barbie first.
Yeah,
Talk about the dream house because that is so cool.
yeah, and then we kind of finish the Barbie
Yeah,
theme.
because you have to tell
Yeah.
everybody.
So when I was a child in the 70s, my sister had a Barbie, a ballerina Barbie, which I found was very unfair that she got one and I didn't get one. So I borrowed hers quite a lot.
can have
She
this
had this crown, a very narrow, tall crown in the middle of her head. And yeah, my sister never got all the big toys. She never got the dream house, the cars, and all the other things that the ponies. She had a couple of Barbies. That was it. But a kid's imagination. I created this whole universe for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then because of the Barbie movie and the hype, we love interior decorating. We love interior design, and I subscribe to the YouTube channel of Architectural Digest. Sorry. And in the Architectural Digest YouTube channel, they have done a whole video on the dream house behind the scene from the movie.
That is fabulous. That movie is so good.
That video is incredible, and it's the whole behind the scenes, how they took the Barbie's dream house and how they recreated it in real life. And watching that movie, even though I did not have access to the dream house when I was a kid, it took me straight back to my childhood. It was really the late 70s, the early 80s for me, and I was like enthralled by what I was seeing.
Well, I think it was so beautiful because it's like the Barbie world is so fake that like the houses are built like the Barbie houses. There's no windows. There's nothing. So
There's no water.
It's open space everywhere because they
She
don't
brushes
have
her
wind
teeth
or
like
rain.
this.
Yeah. She go into the shower.
She
and
does this
just
when
move around.
she does what was it she was doing? She was doing like that. She
so
was doing
funny.
like that
Yeah.
and like that. But there's no water because and then the bubble bath had bubbles that were permanent.
It's so cool. I mean, she's upstairs and she go into the car. She just floats down because they said kids when they play with Barbie, they never go down the stairs
No,
like this. They just grab the Barbie and put her in the car.
And
So that's what they did in the movie.
Yeah.
So this movie, we have to stream it or buy it. I want to have that movie so I can watch it over and over and over.
Yeah,
because
we won't go.
it's so
We won't
fun.
go to the cinema and watch it there because we don't have time. But eventually, we will stream it from somewhere. It'll be on HBO or it will be on
Yeah, or
iTunes
we can
or
actually
whatever.
buy them. Is that
Yeah,
iTunes?
we stream them. We buy them and download them to our library.
I like to have the movies where like this Barbie movie or like the Wes Anderson movies, movies with nice costumes and nice interior, because it's always inspiring to watch. So, no, this is a really good.
Yeah, and on a final note, before we go to your other doll, I just want to let you know that the reason why we made, this is in the past now, the reason why we made this kind of Barbie clothes, this is an exercise in design. I mean, in terms of when we were in the fashion industry and we wanted to create looks.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's easier to do it on a Barbie because they're so small. and then you can see the whole look from head to toe. And in this case, it was really nice with the colors of the fabric, this silk moire with this gorgeous embroidery around the neck. So yeah, to get ideas for our work. That's one of the reasons we play with Barbies.
Yeah.
And I love doing their hair, I have to admit that.
Yeah. This reminds me of something because we had just got a new antique or thrift store not far from our house, and they had a lot of nice stuff. And I saw something. So if that thing is still there when they open the next time, I'm gonna go and buy it for you.
Okay.
I won't tell you what it is, but if I get it, you have something to show on the next.
Something to look forward to.
And something to look forward. I think you will be very happy.
Yeah. Okay, so Barbie's subject is closed. Sorry about that.
No, don't be sorry, because it's very important that all of you know this, because this is so inspiring.
Yeah, so go to YouTube if you're interested in looking at the dream house and seeing Architectural Digest's video on that. Go to YouTube and type Architectural Digest. Actually, you need to type Arch Digest, so that's enough. ARCH and then Digest, and it will take you to the YouTube channel, and it's one of the latest videos, so it's kind of high on the rankings. And have a look at the dream house.
So just wait for her when she walk out of her shoes or when she walk into her wardrobe.
Oh, the
It's
wardrobe
so
was genius.
funny. It's so cool.
You know, like the Barbies, they always come
In a box?
In a box with a cardboard, and then it's got all the clothes kind of, yeah. And that's how her wardrobe is in the real.
I saw a video last
treehouse.
night when you were in the shower. Was his name Ryan Gosling?
Yeah.
He talked about all the things Ken needed.
What was that?
No, it was kind of funny.
Okay, I want to see
You
that
have
one.
to.
Now, why did you watch that without me?
Because you were in the shower and I was bored.
Yeah, but
But you know, you had like this.
why didn't you tell me now?
No, I forgot about it.
Okay, I want to watch that.
You know the sunglasses? They're so funny. No, you have to watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
Okay, let's
I
talk.
mean, is it obvious that we are actually like two little girls right now, like two little young girls looking forward to this movie?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
And look, this is the fashion doll
Yeah,
that we found in Italy, and now we made her
in a
jacket.
thrift store.
In a thrift store. We made her a jacket. She had only a bad stockings and a very nice coat, actually. I don't know where that is. And
She had a Chanel coat.
No, it
made
was-
by Paco Rabanne, yeah.
No, it was something.
Oh, Pierre
like that.
Cardin, yeah.
Pierre Cardin. And then we made her a trouser. So this is a high-waisted jeans. Made.
Yeah.
We haven't put in the press buttons yet. So it's made of old shorts jeans.
It's a little
See, this is where the
pedestrian, Arne.
pockets were.
It's a little pedestrian. She's not looking as glamorous as Barbie.
No, but
Right now,
wait,
she
she will
will.
be glamorous. And we will make. Actually, we made a short videos. So we will
Yeah.
show you how we draped the trousers on the body to make
Yeah.
a trouser, and then we're working on another one in wool. They're all high-waisted and very simple, but we can change. Like we can do different silhouettes. We can do pockets, but it's so tiny. So
Yeah. Do you want to give a brief recap of what you've done and you've shaped it on the body.
yeah, we put we tape muslin on the doll, and then we shape the trouser.
Yeah, you take pieces of muslin
Pieces.
and you cut them more or less how you want it to look.
Yeah.
Then you pin it on the doll
No, you tape it on
or
the
tape it on the doll.
doll. And then you pin the fabric together and you shape the trouser.
Yeah, and then when you do that, you unpin it, but with everything folded where it's supposed to be,
Yeah.
and you put it down on paper. You trace it.
Yeah, and then you cut out
The first muslin.
you try it on, then you go back to your drawing and you do changes. And
Modifying the
you
pattern.
can do like 3 or 4 prototypes before you cut the fabric.
And then
But we made a short movie, so we will post so you can see how we work on the Barbie to make the trousers.
Yeah.
And this one has a little facing. I didn't do a waistband because it's so tiny, so it's just a facing on top, and then there will be press buttons.
And I know you were a little bit concerned about the wrinkles down there.
Yeah.
But you've
This-
probably
This one has less wrinkles
Yeah.
because I was kind of happy with it, and then the fabric reacted. But you see, it's not so much.
No, it's okay. But
you don't
know,
want to have smiling wrinkles in
no.
your crotch.
So you want to, yeah, exactly, yeah.
And in the back it's fine.
In the back, it's actually perfect. So
It takes time to get a perfect pattern. When you have a pattern, you can do anything.
yeah, it becomes a base.
And it's easy to make this with less. What's that called?
Flare.
Flare. You can easily take this in and make a more stripe.
You can even make like a skinny trouser.
One. If you have a stretch fabric, you can do tights based on this.
So all you need pretty much is a base for the trousers. Then you need a base for the top. Like
and we also we have done one short movie where we show you how to construct the base for the top, for the body, because if you have the body, you can do tops, shirts, jackets.
So one base
dresses.
will give you all the different options.
So you keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled. So you need a good base for trousers, and then you need a good base for the top, and then everything else, and maybe a good skirt as well.
But you can use the base for the top also for the skirt.
Yeah.
Because on the top you have the waist.
The waist,
and the hips.
And then that could be a dress because you can just elongate it. So that's what you need. You only need 2 patterns, and then from that you can create anything.
And then I found this box where I had kept all my press buttons. I think these are from thrift stores. So today, Carlos, we have to go to a thrift shop and look for more.
Yeah.
Because the trouser will have these tiny press buttons. And I also found these.
Oh, those are cute.
These are in plastic. You can hardly see them.
Very cute.
For maybe for a white lace dress or something, because we're going to do dresses.
Yes.
So.
And speaking of dresses,
found these. We have these books.
We've got these beautiful books from Paris. La collection Paris Mode était 1952. Oui. So from fall 1952.
This is 53.
Croquis elegant patterns.
These are so cool, and there are so many nice designs here. And with the base we're doing for the doll now, we can do all these dresses. Maybe this one for the doll. You see, it's so inspiring. I like this one. Look at this one. That is cool.
Yeah, but you wouldn't, I mean, I know you wouldn't do it exactly like that. You would make your own.
No, you have to change
twist.
a little bit, but you can use them as inspiration.
Yeah, because you need to make them look current, not vintage.
No, and you don't, well, I don't mind.
Look at these ideas for sleeves that I find quite interesting, huh?
Cool. Yeah.
And then you could do something.
So these are also very cool.
Yeah.
But keep your eyes peeled, and then you will see a short film where we show you how to construct the base for any doll.
It's funny how these were used in the past. These were actually books that they would have at the tailors.
Yeah, this is from.
And then the customers could choose the different clothing they wanted.
This is from a lady who made dresses, and there are some notes there. So this one was made for something Stange. That's her last name. What's it?
It's difficult to read the handwriting.
Svagerba. And there's all the measurements.
Yeah.
This is Mrs. Stange's measurements. The bust, the waist, and the hips.
And it's so interesting. The illustrators would go to Paris. They would sit in the shows and draw, and then it would become these books, which then would be in different tailors' places, and then customers would choose their clothes from here. This is from 1952. This one is this is a year later, so 1953. Yeah. And you can find these in many vintage stores all over the world, because this is something that happened everywhere.
But this is so cool, and look at the skills people had, because you have that drawing, you have these little drawings, and then the seamstress or the people who made the garment, pattern maker, they worked from this.
Yeah.
Can you imagine today if you gave that to someone?
Well, you can do that.
No, but hardly no one can do that, because people want to have the pattern.
Yeah, but you...
Yeah, I know how to construct
because Arne studied this in school, so he can construct.
People,
he can construct this. I mean,
yeah, because that's what I taught people.
Yeah.
And that's what we did in school when I studied. But it's so cool.
Yeah.
people were really
skillful, yeah.
skillful.
And a lot of times, I've also seen these kind of behind the scenes. There's a whole one from Christian Dior. It's the one,
videos,
the one. Yeah, no, I'm thinking of the documentary of Raf Simons when he became the creative director for Christian Dior, and how the haute couture atelier work with the première, the main seamstress who then has a team, and how they get the sketches and how they create everything and the work.
I think it's very interesting just to watch all those videos on YouTube where people actually show. There's like films from the atelier when people are making lace or embroidery. It's so inspiring.
Yeah.
And now with this doll, it's like I don't have time to go anywhere because it's so fun to just create these things on the doll. And this size is good.
Guess who's coming on the cruise?
But this one is easy to work with. But then again, you have to modify things. You can't do everything the way you would have done it for people because it's smaller. Yeah. And now I'm thinking about a lace. We have a lot of lace fabric. And I think we would do lace dresses for this doll.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
But now I have to figure out how to do it.
I think I saw you walking around with a green piece of fabric.
It's down. It's in the hall.
Yeah.
So I just have to find. I need to find a silk or something to put under the green lace, and now I have to figure out what do I do with the raw edges. I can't do French seams. I think that will be too much for a doll.
It's too small.
Yeah.
The seam allowance is much smaller. You know, you have to proportionate everything to the size of the doll.
Yeah.
So if you have 0.5 centimeter of seam allowance in your own clothing, imagine what that is in doll's clothing. So you can't really do that. You have to overlock, I think.
I don't know what I'm.
You can't do French seams.
No,
So
but I was thinking with the lace, and maybe I just.
oh, the lace, yeah.
Maybe I just sew it on 1 centimeter because it's easier to sew it on 1 centimeter, and then I cut off 0.5 centimeter, and then I just leave the lace raw,
yeah.
and put that.
Because lace is okay to leave
because
raw.
that won't go.
Yeah.
And then for the silk inside, I think I will sew that also with the edges inside instead of. So when you look in the dress, it won't look like this. You won't see this side. You will see the edges, but then I think I should cover up the edges with some band in a way to sew. This is like it will be like a haute couture dress for the doll.
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
But I'm going to make one. So today we're going to find some silk if we have time.
We have time.
Maybe I should bring the green.
Bring the green
lace to find something that matches.
And in case you're wondering, if you don't sew and you're wondering what a French seam is, that's when you take 2 pieces of fabric, you sew them together
0.5 centimeter
at a certain seam allowance. When they're sewn, you take the fabric, you flip it the other way, and then you sew the seam again. And that way, now the seam is dressed inside. It's kind of been turned inside, and so you have the fabric running instead of the overlock.
So it's like you put right side against right side and you sew on 0.5 centimeter, then you iron it, you open it again, and then you turn
it around
the backside how do you say?
The two brown sides.
Yeah, it's actually it has to come out on the right side in the end,
and then you sew it again. I mean,
I think do it.
I've got French seams here.
It's this my grandmother.
There's a French seam there.
My grandmother taught me how to do French seams when I made clothes for my sister's doll when I was a kid, because we didn't have overlock, or there was this old machine where you wind it like this, and there's no zigzag.
Yeah.
So she did French seam on everything because you cover up the raw edge.
God, this episode should be sit and sew for a bit.
Sit and sew for a bit.
But we do need to get to some knitting, Arne.
Okay, let's show
we have a lot to go through, so we're probably going to have to stop at some point.
So I finished this one, the scarf, the peacock scarf we call, because the pattern reminds us about the feather on the back of the peacock. Now it's finished and
it smells delicious.
Good. And this is the Norwegian wool from Rowan, and we also made a short video where we show how we do the finishing, because we don't steam this one, we don't do any
So a lot of people are knitting this, have been knitting this together with us, and we do want to tell you that when you finish your peacock scarf and you weave in the ends, it's not the end, you do need to do some finishing. We believe that all knitwear has to be finished one way or another.
Yeah.
And the finish will depend on the knitwear. So for example, if you are doing a stockinette something, maybe a colorwork thing, something in stockinette, you could take your iron and gently press the knitting, and then with the heat and the steam from the iron, you press all the parts and you steam them, and that way you start shaping the shoulders and getting the whole thing to look beautiful.
Yeah.
If you're doing a Christmas ball, I just iron them flat like a pancake. But in the case of the scarf, it's got lace knitting, and you don't want to take an iron and press that. So what we do with the lace knitting is we take a bucket of water.
Yep.
We put a very mild detergent.
Especially for the pure wool, because
Yeah.
wool likes to be washed.
Yeah, so we take a very mild detergent. In Norway, we have one that is a special for wool. It's called Milo. But if you don't have that, you could take conditioner that, you know, from your hair, or what you use to condition your hair. You can put conditioner in, and then you soak that for in the water for a little while, maybe half hour. Then you have to squeeze it, but very gently.
Yeah.
Because
no felting.
Because otherwise it will felt. Very gently squeeze it. Once you've squeezed all the water out, and that process takes a lot of time because you have to be very careful. You lay it flat to dry. You do not pin it. No pinning.
No, there's no reason.
No,
because the size is in the
pattern.
in the pattern. You don't have to stretch it to get any size, because you lay it flat, and then in this case, when it was dry, we just rolled it up, and there it is.
Yeah, and once you've dried it, once it dries, it will have a beautiful finish. It will hold much better, and the wool will become much softer as well. So that's a very important thing as well. That the wool will soften up as you soak it. So, but pinning is not necessary. We don't believe in pinning things. We believe in knitting them to what the size is, and then just doing the finish that is required, whether it's one thing or another. And especially when you work with wool, wool has memory. So
it doesn't matter what you do.
So it really doesn't matter. I mean, if you pin something down, and it's 100% wool, because you're wanting to stretch it, at one point it will go back to what it was, because wool has memory. Cotton, on the other hand, doesn't have memory. So that will always just stretch and stretch and stretch.
Yeah.
And then go back again when you wash it in the machine.
I also found more when I was cleaning, because now I'm organizing all the swatches. So I found this is what we do. This is all we did when we did the design for Rowan. Sometimes we don't have time to do the swatches, but in this case we managed to do a few. So this is just the shoulder on the garment to show how we want it. So this is what we knitted, and then we
send that to Rowan.
Send the picture of this to Rowan, and then you can show what they came up.
And then the result is here.
And then it's
beautiful sweater, mustard with a little detail on the shoulder.
So we make just a drawing of the garment. We write the lace, and we put all the measurements. And sometimes we have time to do a swatch, and sometimes we don't. But we know normally how many stitches there are on 10 centimeters. So
these are from the Rowan book that we did for Rowan last year. It's only available digitally. So what we did was we printed it, and we put it in a book of our own that we made together with the MDK.
So this is from our trip to America and Canada, USA and Canada last year.
Yeah.
So I thought it was nice just to put all the MDK drawings and all the...
And this is part of our archive. And this becomes part of our archive that we have to store. This is how we present it to Rowan. So this is how we show Rowan what we want. And we also provide measurements for everything, so that Rowan, when they see that, they know how to develop it and how to make it.
That's the drawing. This is the picture. Let's show this one. There was a picture. How we show what we want. Where is it? I saw this is kind of cool, because we made this one, and then we we put the half one on the dummy, and then we
manipulated with the
Photoshop. We just made the whole thing.
And we designed the wool for Rowan as well, the yarn and the colors. And here is a little. We may have shown this before.
I think we have.
But this is a little image that shows where we took the colors from. They are originally from these beautiful fishing nets in Lofoten. So it's a very nice. It's the way we work usually. We don't knit it ourselves. We don't develop it. We don't write the patterns. We just send all the information to Rowan, and then Rowan and the technical team, they make it. And yeah, we specify it like this. So you can see this is a dickie, this is a sweater, and then you've got the mittens. The mittens we do chart all the way, actually.
And because we want to have the mittens made in our way, like the traditional way. And then I'm collecting all the things now in these books. So I found this one.
Yeah, the Rowan magazine, which has one of our designs on the cover.
And we did a swatch. So this is...
Yeah, this is magazine 71.
And it's nice actually to... I kept these swatches all the time, but I have never had them in one place. And that is what I'm working on now, because I think in the storage house, which is not finished, which will be the studio in the future, I can have these in bookshelves because they can be there in the cold also. And
we're gonna have, this is fun, huh? And so keep your eyes peeled. This beautiful cardigan is designed by us for Rowan. We designed it in cotton cashmere because
I think
it's
we
a
showed
summer,
that last time also.
It's a summer collection, and we're gonna recreate this in wool. And actually, it's been modeled by a woman. But there is no reason why this cardigan could not be worn by a man.
You tried it on and it was good for
I am most certainly going to wear this cardigan. And there will be a not a knit along, but a follow along. We're going to document this.
Well, if you want to make it, you can
YouTube,
get the pattern and the yarn.
And we've asked Rowan, because usually the magazine patterns are only in the magazine, but we've asked Rowan whether they could release a digital version of this pattern. And I think they are going to do it. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
And we have ordered, we had a lot of the blue colors from the Norwegian wool, and we had the cream or the vanilla, and we ordered the gray.
Yeah.
So we will make the same jacket, but in Norwegian wool, because the tension is the same, and we prefer to have it in wool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that will be fun.
Yeah.
So that will be something we start this autumn as soon as we get the yarn. And we have never knitted from an English pattern before.
No.
We will only knit from
it'll be
from
fun.
our head or our own patterns.
It'll be a lot of fun. And finally, a couple of more things before we end.
Yeah.
Our English paper piercing quilt is going along. You may know that we're going on a quilting cruise with Kate from the Last Tommy House here in Norway. We're organizing a quilt tour or a trip in March 2024.
Yeah. And
there's a project there. It's an English paper piercing. But we're going to let everybody else do Kate's project because we have a big project here. And I don't think Kate will mind that we have to do this. And we're going to do it together, Arne and me. It's really fun.
So we're working on, this one is now finished. This is from old tablecloths and curtains and stuff, this embroidery that we find in thrift shops. So it takes time to find enough of the same. So this one is finished.
This one's finished too. This is my favorite. This is a Liberty fabric.
Liberty in the middle, and the other one are handkerchiefs.
And we buy embroidery that has machine embroidery, and then we cut around it, avoiding to cut. We only cut around it, and what we don't need, we don't care, we cut over. But we want to keep these embroideries, and usually with machine, that's okay. Yeah. And then what we're doing is effectively we're deconstructing these handkerchiefs. In this case, we deconstructed the tablecloth, and then we reconstruct it in our own way. So
we were very lucky with the handkerchief because there were 6 in each.
6 in each, yeah. So you take the pattern apart, and then you put it back on in a new way, which is what quilting is all about, really, Arne. It's about manipulating the fabrics, taking them and creating your own new designs. And
we don't care about like the thickness of the fabric, because if it's very thin, we just make with 2 fabrics on top of each other, or
so this is,
if it's a little different, we don't care.
So this is what it would look like joined. It's going to be amazing. And so, Kate, we've got our work cut out for us.
Yeah, and then we also made like bigger hexagons. So this is because we want to save the whole motif. And then we're working on this one. Luckily, we find another piece of this design, so now we can finish around here.
Yeah.
There's 2 more coming. So this is also kind of cool.
This is a new one.
That's the new one.
This is amazing. I love this so much. It's got like a shirt fabric.
Yeah.
On in the middle, and then it's got the handkerchiefs again, or no,
No,
tablecloth.
that's a tablecloth or a curtain.
Tablecloth.
This is from this one, and this one is from the same series.
Yeah,
Because there you can find napkins, you can find tablecloths, you can find curtains.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things for the kitchen in the same motif. So there are different styles in the same.
So we really hope to get this, moving, and so hopefully in March you'll see a bigger piece made.
But this will take time.
Of course, it takes time, but that's the whole point. This is.
But that's the cozy thing.
Yeah.
We don't have a rush.
And we hope that we are inspiring
We're
you
not in
to
a
make
rush.
your own. I mean, go out there, go to the thrift stores, find things that people don't love, and take them home with you and give them some love, and repurpose them and make them into something beautiful. You don't need to consume all the time and buy. You can get old stuff that nobody wants, and that's more sustainable as well. So I think it's a win-win.
Yeah, and then we found this fabric, and these are more difficult. This is a bit too much in a way.
Yeah.
Compared to the other ones. You see, this is like all over the place. It's too big, but I'm thinking I have to figure out how to use them in a nice way. But
I think maybe the right way to use them would be to
use them in the
center.
center. Yeah, that's what I was
them.
thinking.
And then you do this.
Yeah, because that is also from handkerchief.
Yeah.
Handkerchiefs. And I was thinking maybe we should put the pink one in the
You
center.
see,
And
immediately when you do that, you see, Arne, look.
yeah, I think that works.
Immediately when you do that, that works. But
So-
if you do this,
It's too
much.
It doesn't give me anything.
Yeah, then you can just send it to the Barbie house, right?
Yeah, but the pattern is not fitting the rest because
Yeah.
these fabrics makes a new pattern.
But this would look fabulous in the Barbie house.
yeah, like curtains. But
Okay.
you don't use curtains.
We've gone through quite a lot today, and unfortunately, we didn't go through everything we wanted to go through.
No, there's more stuff.
There's more stuff coming, but that's life. There's a few things coming up. Next Monday, we are doing a Rowan Connect, and it's all about Christmas in July. It's like a Christmas special. And the first time we ever experienced Christmas in July was when we were in Australia in 2017.
That was fun.
We took the elevator up to our hotel room in Sydney on the 24th, and when we wake up and had breakfast on the 25th of July, the whole hotel was decorated. There was even a tree, and all the waiters and the staff were wearing little Christmas elf hats. We didn't know where we were. We were already very jet-lagged from the long trip, and this was just crazy.
Yeah.
But it was fun, and ever since then we've been doing Christmas in July. So there's going to be a whole festive thing over at Rowan Connect next Monday, the 24th. So if you're interested in joining, go to knitrowan.com, go there, and you can get all the details. In honor of Christmas in July, we have been busy, and we've also designed a couple of things that we're going to launch, and they're only going to be available for a very short limited amount of time. They're launching today at 6 p.m. Well,
You're like up in the camera now.
Sorry.
Come back here.
They're launching today.
You're
so,
eager.
so today's Tuesday. They're launching tomorrow, Wednesday, but it's today for you. And they'll only be available until the 26th of July. July. So just a few days. We've done a Christmas stocking that looks like this. This is this year's Christmas stocking with the bullfinches. And it's got a matching Christmas ball as well.
This one, a bullfinch.
A bullfinch. So these patterns are going to be available on our web shop with a very big discount. And you can only get them now from July, whatever the day is today.
So we're not
Is it
coming
the
back for
19th?
Christmas? Or are they out now with a discount?
They're out now with a discount from July 19th. And they will disappear on July 26th. There won't be any more of this. And then maybe we will bring them in again in October.
I think they should come back.
They would come back in October, but then it will be at full price.
Because
no
if you're not in
discounts.
the Christmas mood in July, you can do it
Yeah,
in.
but
But
you
you can
still
get the pattern
Get
now.
it now while it's discounted.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, they actually, in the knitting world, a lot of people actually start working on their Christmas projects in July. So Christmas in July is a thing.
Well, we always
in the
work
knitting
on
world.
Christmas.
Because you need to finish them on time.
Yeah.
And, not everybody can knit 24 balls in 24 days. I can't do that. You can.
Yeah.
But yeah, at what
No,
cost?
6 days.
Yeah. So
Okay, I'm not here to brag.
yeah, no. So we hope you've enjoyed this episode, and if you
Well, I am.
have,
No, I could.
are you bragging?
No, I don't care.
Yeah. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please give it a big thumbs up. We will be back next Wednesday with a new episode of Sit in It for a Bit. In the meantime, we're doing reruns on Sundays as Eric, Anna, and PJ are on summer holiday. And if you tune into our YouTube shorts, we're doing shorts pretty much all the days we don't do long episodes. Mondays and Thursdays, we've got the...
Pajamas Gardener.
Tuesdays, we've got...
The knitting.
Yeah, Learn to Knit in 60
In
seconds.
60 seconds.
How about Fridays?
Then we have
Shenanigans with Arne and Carlos.
And that's when this comes. That's
Yeah.
a shenanigan.
But not this week.
No, not this week.
This week, we're going to show you the activity Norwegian people spend most time doing in the summer. So stay tuned for that. And then on Saturdays, we do...
The
crochet.
in 60 seconds.
Yeah. And if you can't get enough...
remember now. There's so
Exactly.
many things.
If you can't get enough content from us, we also have a YouTube membership. So just go to our YouTube channel and look at the main page where the subscribe button is. There's a join button, and you can join and become a member. And members get fun emojis and icons to use during our live streams and our chats and our comments. And we also give knitting help to Tier 2 members. There's live Q&As with knitting help, of course, and lots of other fun features.
Yeah.
So you want to join our memberships if you want even more content.
Yes, you can.
So
Sorry
Arne,
about this, but we found this one in England with Alice in Wonderland. It's so beautiful, but now I'm going to take the pieces apart.
yeah. And speaking of paper, we should, before we leave, mention that we are running a knit along. We finished our beautiful, well, you have finished your beautiful scarf, but a lot of people are still knitting it. Today we gave you the tips on finish, which we highly recommend you do. You will see amazing results. And keep posting your images, because by the end of the summer, for us, the end of the summer will be kind of around August 9th or something like that. Before we go on
a knitting cruise.
We will select a random image, and we are going to give that person a very special prize, curated by us. What is it, Arne?
It's a lot of stuff from a stash.
A lot of stuff.
It's like an envelope with stuff, and I found some really nice stuff.
Yeah.
So if you have a scrapbook or your art journal or anything, or there will be a little bit of everything. I won't tell what it is, but it's I found some nice stuff.
So to put it in the Arne way, post your images on Facebook, YouTube, tag them with Arne and Carlos, the hashtag Arne Carlos, and you will be eligible to win some stuff.
And it doesn't have to be finished. It can just be like a few
a few rounds, whatever you want to do. Post that, hashtag Arne Carlos, and win some stuff. Thank you so much for watching. And we will see you again next week with a new episode of Sit in It for a Bit. And in the meantime, enjoy all the other features here on our channel.
Bye.
Bye.
And look at this, Carlos. This is nice decorations for the scrapbook.
Beautiful.
Funny. Okay, bye. Okay, Freya, du ska ut.